The dream offseason plan for your Buffalo Bills does not exist until now. Welcome in to this edition of Bills Breakdown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we are going to break down our three-step process of what the Buffalo Bills need to address this offseason to get this team to take that next step to compete for an AFC title and a Super Bowl title. We'll tell you what they need to do coming up in just a bit. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Let's go ahead and get started with the quarterback contract situation. Josh Allen, he is in an interesting predicament when you look at what you can do with Josh Allen's contract. Obviously, this is a guy that's being paid a lot of money, and deservingly so. An MVP season, an AFC Championship game appearance. Josh Allen is fantastic, one of the best quarterbacks in football, and he's going to be here for a very long time. He's currently under contract until 2029. But what we've seen with these contracts across the NFL is constant restructuring. Where can we move around money to create some flexibility of sorts? And if you see right now, the Bills have Josh Allen at a bit of a bargain. $43 million, 14th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. That's a very good situation for the Buffalo Bills to be in. But with that said, for what's ahead with the rest of this contract, there are some bumps in the road. And there's an opportunity potentially here for the Buffalo Bills that if they restructure Josh Allen's contract, they can free up some money, potentially $11+ million. It's a double-digit number that the Bills can free up to give them their cap flexibility because, in all honesty, the Bills head into this offseason with some serious question marks of some team needs that they need to address and not a whole lot of money that they potentially have to work with. So if you restructure Allen's deal and then push that money down the road, then you can create some flexibility to help you in the short term. And if you think about the NFL salary cap situation, it was just announced this week the cap is going to be $279 million, and it's jumping up at a record rate. If you're Buffalo, you can afford to move some money down the road with Josh Allen to give you flexibility for the short term, knowing that things are going to open up in the very near future. We're very close to reaching that $300 million threshold when it comes to the salary cap. More to come here on Bills Breakdown here in just a moment. But first, we are in a sub-battle with our Jets Report channel here at Chat Sports, as the Jets Report, new channel, much like Bills Breakdown, and they have more new subscribers than we do here at Bills Breakdown. This month, they have gained over 1,400 subscribers. Bills Breakdown, not bad for us. 932, but we have work to do if we want to be on pace with the Jets channel. So if you love the Buffalo Bills, if you want to take down our Jets channel and win this sub-battle this week, you need to subscribe, as we're talking news and rumors, off-season coverage like the draft, free agency, trades, and more. Subscribe now for free. More subs means more content here on the Bills Breakdown, youtube.com/Bills News to subscribe now. Number 2 on our offseason plan, being aggressive in free agency. You can't be afraid to spend money. And now that we know, with the salary cap being higher and restructuring Josh Allen's contract, among other things that the Bills can do, there's obviously some cut candidates like Von Miller and others, and some other restructurings that you can do to free up some money. We talked about this on the channel a while back, that you can pretty easily open up about $40 additional million on top of what you already have here. Now's the chance for the Bills to spend a little extra in free agency, a little extra cash that they have to take care of these positions of need. The positions of need include the defensive tackle spot and the edge rusher position. Let's start there for a moment. You look at this Bills team, the defense this past season wasn't great, but it wasn't necessarily bad either. And I think a big reason why was that you lacked the presence you needed when it came to pass rushers and being aggressive in that sense. So that'll be something that they need to take advantage of. And you look at some of the notable defensive linemen that are available here in free agency. Guys like Milton Williams, Osa, Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick, Big Malcolm, among others here. I mean, there are plenty of options. Now, they're not necessarily going to be cheap as far as that goes, but at least you have options that you can potentially go to when it comes to these defensive linemen. And there's just simply no excuse for Buffalo not to be able to spend money when it comes to these defensive line players to get the help that they're looking for at defensive tackle and at the edge rusher positions. It's a loaded defensive line class as far as that goes. And, I mean, let's be real. You got to spend money on your edge position. I have always been of the belief you can never have too many pass rushers, and you need some guys that can be able to get after the quarterback. I think we go back and we look at that AFC Championship game against the Chiefs. One of the big differences compared to why Buffalo lost, compared to why Philadelphia defeated Kansas City, was Philadelphia was so much more effective at getting after Patrick Mahomes with their defensive front compared to something that Buffalo struggled to do in that game. And you got to cut ties with Von Miller. I mean, if we're just going to be honest here, Von Miller, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's had a great run. I think we're all pretty excited when he ended up going to the Buffalo Bills a couple of years ago, but the production just hasn't been the same for Von Miller as what we expected. He's not the same player that he used to be, coming off a season with just 17 tackles, 6 sacks, 7 TFLs as far as that goes on that front. I want to go back over the other team needs real quick for the Buffalo Bills that they need to address besides defensive tackle and edge rusher. The corner position and the wide receiver position as well. I think that when you go against these top receivers that we're talking about, of the Jabbar Chases of the world and some of these other guys, you got to be able to defend better than what the Buffalo Bills have been able to do. I think they'll address that. The receiver spot, got to find more weapons for Josh Allen. Losing Stephon Diggs, that was a big deal. And for all intents and purposes of the situation the Bills were in, they did a pretty decent job last year of overcoming that. But there was still a lack when it came to the long passing game, the deep passing game for Buffalo. They didn't have that explosion that we saw in years past. And a lot of it had to do with defenses playing the 2 and 3 high safety look to try to take the top off and not let Josh Allen exploit them that way, similar to what we've seen teams do to the Kansas City Chiefs over the last few years as well. But I do think they need some receiver help. They need a new vertical deep threat of sorts to be able to extend the field as far as that goes. Now, we talked about the defensive line. That was a big part of the team needs. Edge rusher specifically. Do you want to go after an edge rusher in free agency? Weigh in, let us know. Type Y for yes, in for no, if the Bills should bring in an edge or not. Last on our Bills offseason plan of what they need to do, you have to hit on your first and second round picks. And the Bills, they have a plethora of draft picks to choose from here in 2025. 10 total draft picks this year, including the 30th overall pick in the 56th and 62nd overall pick. And because of this predicament that you are in as the Buffalo Bills right now, I think you kind of have to view the draft as your free agency, that you get these guys to fill your positions of need and take advantage of their rookie contracts, and hopefully they're ready to play from day one. Mel Kiper Jr. is projecting in his latest mock draft the Bills take Jadi Barron, the corner from the University of Texas, with the 30th overall pick. He would be a guy that should slide in as a starter right away, especially with Douglas heading to free agency. We don't know if he's coming back yet. There's a real opportunity for him to step in and be a difference maker as far as that goes on that front there. And I think when you look at this defense of what the Bills are going to try to do, we talked about earlier the defensive line and trying to be aggressive on that front of really winning at the line of scrimmage, but also making life easier on the corners. I think you got to take notes from the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles laid out the blueprint of what it takes being a physical championship caliber football team. And it's not going to be easy. There's obviously some work to be done, but I think the Bills can look at that and say, why can't we do that same exact thing that Philadelphia did? What's the top need that the Bills need to address this offseason? Let me know in the comments section what that is. Weigh in and let us know what you'd like to see them do. For continuing Bills coverage, subscribe now to Bills Breakdown by Chat Sports, youtube.com/Bills News. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.